Today let's discuss about like which is the most profitable channel for my practice. So basically, whenever I go for the client meetings or the doctor's meeting, they usually have this one singular question. Tushar, will YouTube be my best channel, or should I do the GMB, or what should I do?
Mhm.
So what it is about?
So, to put it very simple, any platform or any channel can be profitable or cannot be profitable.
Okay,
Right? If you look at it, there are 13 different platforms, and out of those, four are very well known platforms.
okay,
Right? For example, your Google SEO thing,
right,
which includes your website content also and all those things. Right? Second is your YouTube. We have Instagram, Facebook, somewhat LinkedIn, which is not directly patient focused, but somewhat LinkedIn. And you have Twitter.
right,
According to me, Twitter have a completely irrelevance as far as the healthcare is concerned. Right. So to put it short, every channel can be profitable and every channel cannot be profitable too. I'll come to this later.
Okay,
Point is, how do you define the profitability?
okay.
And what is the timeline of the profitability?
That's a
Right.
great point to
Right.
touch upon.
If you say that I am starting my efforts today on YouTube and I want patients to be coming to my OPD or hospital tomorrow, it is not going to be possible. Right?
Okay,
Every platform has a different timeline of a success.
okay,
And another variant in this whole thing is the domain, the clinical domain, and the clinical subdomain that you are creating content for or taking efforts into.
okay.
Right?
Can you put it in the example?
Like, for example, right now it is very much easy to, for let's take an example of a YouTube content.
Okay,
Right? Right now it is very much easy if you start creating content in neurology. Right? There are multiple queries. Even if you take a simple example of a headache, there are multiple queries around revolving around headache, but very less neurological opinion present on the YouTube or internet. You might find other healthcare bloggers, healthcare enthusiasts, healthcare content creators creating content in and around headache. But you won't find much of a detailed content getting created by a neurologist or by a neurosurgeon in and around headache. If you start creating content in the neurology domain, it will definitely going to rank and it will definitely going to percolate in the form of an OPD. Right? But it is not going to happen that you are creating content today or you have created 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of a content on YouTube and it will yield into a patients. It will take consistent efforts of minimum 6 months
okay,
on YouTube to create content. But if you look at a domain of a cosmetic dermatology, then it is definitely going to take year and a half or 2 years of a continuous efforts of creating content, and then you start getting patients for that particular platform.
okay,
Again, when I say it can be profitable or it cannot be profitable, there are multiple parameters into it. Right? When doctors say that whether it can be a profitable or not, they directly expect direct leads into their OPD. Right? Here we need to define the profitability, and here we need to some kind of a maturity at the doctor's level that which metrics to follow.
okay,
Right? So if you are creating content on YouTube or on Instagram or on your blog platforms, your initial metric should be how many eyeballs you are catching. Right? Those eyeballs might not get converted into a form of a lead, but those eyeballs will create some kind of authority in that particular domain around your brand. That is also a profitability if you look at that.
correct.
Now, if you go serially, here I'll like to portray a simple thing which is usually in the marketing jargon, they say the funnel. Right? So you need to judge whether you're a brand at the awareness stage, at the acquisition stage, at the activation stage, or at the revenue stage as far as the digital is concerned.
Okay,
Right? If your brand is not at all present, then first you need to create awareness about your brand.
Okay.
And here, when you are creating awareness about your brand, I usually say go with the strategy of spray and pray.
Okay.
Create a content for each and every possible platform.
Hmm.
And out of those platforms, 2 or 3 winning platforms you will get.
Not all.
Not all. Because it again depends on your personality, your clinical domain, and your clinical subdomain. Right? If you are into a cosmetic industry, your YouTube and Instagram is going to go really very well.
Okay.
And more than YouTube, your Instagram is going to go really very well. Right? But if you are into a very serious domain like cancer, neuro, ortho, those type of domains, then your YouTube is going to overpower your Instagram or any other type of content.
Okay, but why such kind of disparity?
Now it depends on the nativity of that particular platform.
Okay.
Right. So if you look at your own behavior,
okay.
Right. So now every platform has different triggers.
Okay.
Different form of a content. And usually you are a completely different personality on a different platform.
Right. You mean behavior of a patient or the user?
User, correct.
Yeah.
So when you are on Instagram, you expect that quirky content. You expect those quick tips.
Right.
You expect that kind of entertaining content.
The eye-pleasing.
The eye-pleasing and everything, which you cannot create in cancer. There is somewhat level content you can create in cancer for Instagram purpose.
Okay.
But when you are looking for a detailed information, when you are looking for a detailed query solving, you immediately jump towards YouTube.
Right. Because I want to have a more understanding and knowledge.
Correct. You immediately jump towards the blogging platforms.
Right.
Right. So profitably having a profitable platform for your healthcare business, for your medical practice, is first you spray and pray. Right. If you are at the awareness stage. Right. Second, you need to do some kind of a experimentation around those platforms.
Okay. So, as you previously talked about, the timelines, and you mentioned the example dermatology would have a timeline of let's say 1.5 years versus your cancer would have a timeline of let's say 8 to 9 months. So, like what kind of factors influence such timelines?
Simple. It is influenced by 2 to 3 factors. First is how many authoritative and the authentic content getting pushed around that domain.
Okay.
When I say authoritative, the cancer surgeon can't talk about cancer.
Right.
Oncologist can't talk about cancer. Right. Any health enthusiast cannot talk about cancer. Right. No matter how much deeper knowledge he or she has. Day in, day out, that oncosurgeon, the oncologist into that particular domain.
Right.
He has particular insights.
Right.
The expert knowledge. And the domain level authority in that.
Correct.
Right. Correct. So it depends on the how many authoritative people are creating content on it.
Right.
Right. First. Second level, what is the literacy of patients, and most of the what is the demand from the patient side.
Right.
For that particular level of a content.
The patient journey that we're talking about.
If there is a lesser demand on the patient side, no matter how much content you create, it is not going to get viral. And it is not going to be profitable.
Right.
For example, few years back, there is another therapy which came into ortho, especially joint care, that is called as a prolotherapy or something. Right? They infuse PRP in joints and expect that synovial layer will rejuvenate and all those things. People were completely unaware about it.
Correct.
So no matter how much content you create around prolotherapy, you are creating awareness about prolotherapy. You are not creating awareness about your practice. And people are going to be skeptical about this because nobody else is talking about it.
Right.
And here also, doctors are like, hey, nobody else is talking about this. People do not know. We create awareness about it and people will come to us. It is not possible because people do not have a comparison.
Right. So there has to be certain kind of a comparison or examples.
There has to be some level of a buzz around patients
Right.
mind of the in
Right.
general patients community about that thing,
Yeah.
about that treatment modality.
Right.
Right. So in short, every platform is profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on how you define a profitability.
Right.
Depends on how you define the timeline of profitability.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
And how much efforts you put in.
Right.
Most of the doctors I have seen, they'll put efforts, minimum possible efforts into the platform. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they're like, yeah, this profitable is this platform is
Thing
not at
is
all
not
profitable.
working
This
for
thing
me.
is not at all working.
Right. So it like what I understand from the conversation is this: the doctor's roles become very crucial, right, into this complete thing to make any content platform a profitable for a practice.
The
Right?
doctor's mindset plays a very
Okay.
crucial.
Let's shed some light around it.
Like for example, these days there is a buzz around that you increase your GMB ranking,
Right. Right.
or these days Google business profile ranking, and then you'll get a business.
Yeah, you are
This-
number one. You get
Your
thousands
number
of
one.
patients.
That is somewhat true,
Right.
right? But to stay true, to
Mhm.
stay on this first ranking, there are other factors also play a very much important role.
Right.
Right? If you have seen this Google business profile, will show your Facebook ranking also, Just Dial ranking also, Practo ratings also. Sorry, ratings also.
Right.
Right? So those citations also GBP profiles push
Okay.
there. Right? How much authority score you have on your website,
The domain authority.
domain authority, is also important. How much authoritative content you are pushing on your website is also important.
Right.
How much authoritative content you are pushing on YouTube is also important for your GMB ranking or the GBP rankings.
Right.
Right? This is a complete net is being created on internet. That's what they call it as an internet, most probably. If you are authoritative at least on 2-3 different platforms, you're
Mhm.
going to go up. And most of the times, if here comes a blue ocean, red ocean strategy, right? If in your domain, people are running behind the GBP ranking and GBP ranking, which is GMB ranking, everyone is putting efforts into it, but nobody's putting efforts on YouTube.
Right.
Nobody's putting efforts on Instagram. Put your efforts there. Because it is easy to rank there and it is easy to attract patients from there.
Right.
Because nobody's there.
Right.
That GMB thing or SEO thing is right now red ocean because everybody's cutting everybody's head
Right.
to get that ranking.
Everyone is just trying to push their profiles into Google, but it just reviews.
True. The blue ocean is lying on YouTube, blue ocean is lying on Instagram. Go there and create your authority.
Right. Right. Like you mentioned previously, like the awareness state of the particular brand, right? So, like for doctors, how should they find like where is like in the digital arena, where is their practice? How do you identify like what's my current state in the digital?
It's very simple. In digital level, if you are consistently creating content on
Consistency is the key.
consistency is the key on digital platform. And where here is consistently as in you are creating one video on YouTube,
Right.
you've been creating for 2 years. This is not a consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah, the frequency also matters.
Right.
Right. If you are creating content consistently and frequently on the platform, and your vanity metrics, so-called vanity metrics like views and subscribers and comments and all those things are at place. Now again, it depends on the domain.
Mhm.
If you go into obs gynae, especially the obstetric care,
Mm-hmm.
you might have a huge number of followers.
Right.
But if you
Right.
go into the neurology, well, let's suppose if you have 1 million views for obstetrics,
Mhm.
you might get 10,000 views for a cancer,
Right.
which is an equal level of awareness. Because the occurrence of disease or
That
the
also
ailment,
matters.
that also matters. Like the number is different. Half of the population is getting pregnant, but not half of the population is getting cancer.
True.
Right?
True.
So if 1 million is your vanity metrics getting reached in obstetrics, it might be 10,000
Right.
for your this. So you are at the awareness level somewhere.
Correct. Because cancer kind of conditions or the clinical conditions which are very much serious in nature, the occurrence is very less.
True.
So in that case, even if you have a 10,000 followers which are very much brewed and the quality, then it is as good as having the 1 million followers.
True. Definitely do.
Great. So, I have another question in my mind, like this. So, when it comes to the practice, how should doctors, define the profitability in terms of the metrics, and how should they choose the metrics?
Simple. If you're at the awareness stage,
Yeah.
profitability is number of views, number of subscribers, number of followers, all those variables.
Right.
If you're at the acquisition stage, go at the number of leads that you are getting,
Okay.
number of contacts you are getting. Those contacts can be simple questions being asked on your email.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Patient will send you reports. Please give me a
So,
opinion.
any business interaction that happens.
That directly contacting you on a personal level.
Right.
It can be email, it can be WhatsApp, it can be chatbot, it can be your SMS, it can be your direct call.
Right.
Right? That is at your acquisition level.
Correct.
The activation level is how many out of those are walking in your OPD.
Right.
The revenue level is how many out of those which are walking into your OPD are getting converted as your patients which are availing your service.
Right.
Right? Then you will come to the level of a referral.
Mm-hmm.
That how many patients are giving you a referral thing.
Correct. So, though, like as you mentioned, there has to be a funnel kind of, there has to be some tracking activity. I just wanted to understand more about it. Like, let's say I take a YouTube as a platform, as an example, and let's say I'm from certain specialty. So my take is this, like, considering the practice, how should I define what kind of metrics should I be looking at when it comes to the particular media? For example, if I'm a gynecologist versus my friend is a cancer surgeon, right? And my friend is looking at me, I'm having a 1 million followers, and he's also trying actually the marketing activity. But then there should be though there are the common KPIs around. So what kind of metrics my friend should be looking at when it comes to the success of that particular channel?
Look, type of a metric is same.
Right. The context has to be different.
The type of a metric is same, but the amount of that metric, right, that exact number is going to be different. As I explained you earlier.
Right.
Like in OBS, you will get 1 million views.
Right.
But in cancer, you will get 10,000 views.
Right.
So you are at the awareness stage. You go for these vanity metrics.
Correct. So you are basically suggesting here is that if your specialty is intricate, very niche, then maybe having a less number of followers is as good as having a large number of followers.
True.
Right.
True.
So that is what you are suggesting.
Again, it depends on the literacy level of your audience. Even if you are a gynac,
right?
Even if you're a gynac, people are completely aware about the PCOD.
Correct.
People are aware about the endometriosis.
Right.
But people are very less aware about the adenomyosis.
Correct. So it will take some time to crack that nut.
Correct.
Right. So to conclude, so what's the key takeaway for this question, which is the most profitable platform for my practice?
So again, I reiterate, all platforms are profitable, and any platform cannot be profitable. Right. It depends on you maintain the frequency, you maintain the consistency, you create a content which is kind of engaging, less of jargons.
Right.
Fourth, you avoid the red ocean and go into the blue ocean.
Less targeted areas,
right?
Or where competition is not focusing really.
And you choose a platform which is specific to your practice. Like as I told you, for cancer, people are going to go for a YouTube. For the cosmetic dermatology, for dentistry, for physiotherapy, for dietetics, all these people will go on Instagram and consume your
visual content.
Because where quick tips are there.
Right. And there is the notable difference into the physical condition also.
True. So this is what the conclusion is. The biggest thing is maintain the frequency and consistency. That's it.